What if the healing you've been searching for has been hiding in the weird? Taking the Weird Out of Woo is a new series that's on a mission to normalize non-traditional therapies and explore healing beyond the mainstream, one episode at a time. Each week, we bring together 3 powerful elements: a skeptic who's open but unsure, an expert who's lived and studied the method, and a real experience that just might change everything. From sound healing to breathwork, energy medicine, and beyond, we're diving into the woo with curiosity, compassion, and a willingness to ask, could this actually help? This isn't just entertainment, it's an invitation to feel, to heal, and to explore what's possible when nothing else has worked. Welcome to Taking the Weird Out of Woo. Let's heal together. We today are going to talk about horses, and we're going to talk with a real life cowboy, and we're going to be talking to a beautiful woman who has that just beautiful standard Western way of living. And so I'm so excited to bring to this conversation, this experience, I've got my gorgeous Miss Skeptic right here, and Miss Kimberly Pine.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
You are so welcome. And then, of course, our real life cowboy,
Cowboy.
here,
Gotta have a cowboy.
Wes Taylor. And I think this is where I think that Western and cowboys, the reason why it makes me feel so safe is I remember my grandparents listening to the old Western record, having the Westerns on TV, back when life was simple, because life is not simple right now, is it?
It's not simple.
So I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think horses and the whole Western thing just makes us feel kind of safe?
I think everybody kind of, I think there's a little cowboy in everybody. And I say there's a little cowgirl in everybody, there's a little cowboy in everybody.
Yeah.
Like, we all kind of have that explorer, we want to just kind of have that Wild West type experience, whatever that might be. So I think there's a little bit of that inside all of us that we're trying to find that in our life.
Yeah. I am literally picturing myself free in a field on my horse, riding bareback. Woohoo! You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm ready, but I'm scared to death. So it's never going to happen. So, yeah. I mean, so I can remember when I was a little girl, I had to have a horse. I don't know what it is about horses and why they're so flippin' magical. We're going to find out today, actually. But I had classifieds. Yes, classifieds. That dates me. Yes, it does. And so I would circle the horses and give it to my parents and beg. And I'm really good at getting what I want. But in this one, I just didn't get it. But, I mean, I could have been a cowgirl.
Your dad should be thanking me right now. Like all the money that he saved and all the other things he got to do. Don't.
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing the same thing to you.
Oh, I know. I know how this game works for sure.
Yeah. So, but you said you started. How did you start with horses?
Yeah, my kids. My little girl, like my little 8-year-old girl was like, Daddy, I want a horse, and all of the things. And I'm like, I don't want what, why?
Yeah.
And it didn't matter why. It's just I wanted one, and she wanted one, and yeah, that was 20-ish years ago, and
Wow.
we're in it now.
Oh, but those little girls.
Those little girls.
Right around there.
The whole horse industry is modeled off of little girls' desires to have a horse. The entire industry is framed off of that thought. So
funny that we want that.
yeah, it is. It's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thing. Without any warrant, without even really knowing or needing to know why. It's just an ingrained internal thing. I think, I don't know, maybe the horse industry is like feeding those thoughts to all the little kids.
Maybe there's this whole conspiracy of trying to like put them on cartoons. So all of his little girls want them, or unicorns, and that's as close as you get to a unicorn right now. So who knows? But did you ever want a horse?
No, but I wanted the cowboy.
Ah.
You know the Dixie Chicks songs?
Oh, yeah.
Cowboy, Take Me Away. I used to belt that song, and I can still, like, you're picturing yourself running off with a horse, and I picture myself, like, laying in this tall grass with my cowboy, like, taking me away and just giving me this beautiful life under an open sky. And I've always wanted, like, a little hobby farm. But my husband's like, you don't. And I'm like, no, I do. I want to, like, get the chickens. He's like, do you want to get up early and feed these animals? And I'm like, well, I'll help.
I'm going to be a wealthy, I have a gentleman's farm, and I'm going to hire someone to come in and do this for me.
So that's kind of what I wanted. I don't know. I've honestly actually always been scared of like getting on horses. They're such beautiful, powerful animals. And so
I know we want them, but we don't.
yes.
I want them, but I don't. It's kind of like a bipolar personality disorder with horses for me. Like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, go away because you're really scary.
Yeah.
You know,
You can
so
stomp on me.
so now we all know that I have some diagnosis right out of the gate. You know who you're talking about or with. You know who you're talking with. You know what I'm all about. And so, yeah, we're going to try and normalize non-traditional therapies today. So here we go. Let's begin. Let's talk about. I want to hear your stories because, West, this is what you do. This is what you have been doing for 15 years. So you can actually thank your daughter because you wouldn't be here without her.
Pretty much. And she knows that too. She likes to remind me of that constantly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do that.
Yeah. She's not lost sight of that. She's like, hey, don't remember. Just remember, I got you into this. Remember, I was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So here you are. But I want to hear this story because there's an incredible story behind this.
There is, and I'll try to like shorten it up as quickish as I can. But starting out, the horses was pretty much just that. My kids wanted horses, and they wanted to go do the 4-H and the little kid rodeos and those things. And so, yeah, we went and bought a horse. I remember clearly the very first horse I ever bought. And anybody watching or listening, if you're into horses, this will give you a very clear description of my horse knowledge. So she finds this horse that's just down the street from where we live to go buy from a neighbor of ours. So I'm like, well, that sounds great. Like, it'll be somebody we know. And okay. So I don't really have a horse trailer or anything, so we just walk down the street, right? We're going to go down to the neighbor's house. And I go down there and meet this guy, and I'm like, all right, yep, it's got 4 legs and a head. That looks like a horse. This is the one. And he's like, this is the one. And my daughter's like, this is the one, Daddy. Yes. And I remember standing there, and the guy, like, we, did the little money exchange thing, and I'm just standing there, and the guy's looking at me, and he's like,
He's clearly over his head.
Yeah, no, this question right here is going to be it. He's like, did you bring a halter to like take it home? To lead it home?
You need something to lead it home.
Nobody told me. So he's like, you want to borrow one? I was like, apparently I do. Yeah, let me borrow one. So that was where I started. I didn't even know enough to like take the thing, to go like bring the horse back home with you. I thought, I don't know.
Go follow me.
I don't know.
I'm literally having anxiety right now for you.
Me too. Like I'm getting all anxious. Anyway, so that was the beginning. And fast forward along so I was a really good like 4-H dad. Like I could, drive the truck. I could hook the trailer up. I could open the gate, for the horse to go in and out and hold the horse while my little girl did the things, whatever the heck she was doing. And so I was just a good like horse dad. Mm-hmm. But I knew nothing about how to communicate or how to do anything with this animal. So anytime that she had troubles or problems, I don't know, go ask your friends. What are you asking me for? I drive the truck and I clean the poop up. That's what I do. I don't know. And so that went on. And anyway, life went along, and I ended up, I was in the IT world. So I was your internet guy, your phone guy, your cable guy, anything to do with kind of technology and communication. I had a business that's what I did in that world. And that I ended up losing that in 08, as many of you remember, the financial cleansing that many of us got to participate in of 08.
Nice.
That sounds really nice.
A lot of people refer to it as like a midlife crisis or something, but
I was in the banking industry.
Sorry.
So I don't know. We've never used that word cleansing, but that's not a lot.
Maybe
better.
cleansing by fiery hell and damnation. Yeah,
I've learned over the years as we catch up, as we get to where I am now. Words matter, and so depending on how I tell the story about my experiences. So it wasn't the cleansing the first time when I first thought it was hell. Mm-hmm. It was pure hell. It was the worst possible thing that could ever have happened to me. Right. Lost everything. It was embarrassing. It was humiliating. I wanted to crawl in a hole and hide. I didn't want anybody to talk to me. And so that's kind of that pivotal moment happened. Like I lost everything except for my wife and my kids. Like that was the things I was trying to hold on to. It's like I just got to keep my crew together, keep my family together here. But we can get new toys, we can get a new whatever, new boat, all the things that got repossessed, and sold at the neighborhood fire sale. I mean, everything just got gone.
Wow.
And so that happened, and we had to move out of our, 7-bedroom executive home on the golf course horse property. Like, it was the elite piece of property to have if you're a horse dude. And I didn't golf, but I liked living by the golf course because that was cool, right? I had the right descriptions, I had the right job title, all the things. And anyway, when we lost all of that, I had to borrow an old ratty Dodge truck and a horse trailer that still had, horse manure in the bottom on the floor. And I'm asking my wife, like, well, we got to put all our stuff in there. Like, we're leaving. We can't live in this, glorious house anymore. We're out. We're going. And so, we stuffed everything in this borrowed truck and horse trailer, and we went. I went to my grandfather's ranch, to his farm, and he had recently passed away, so the property was just kind of sitting there with nobody doing anything. And I asked my family, my dad and aunts that owned the property then, and I just said, I just need somewhere to regroup. I need somewhere to start over. I just need a safe place that I can just be. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but I just need somewhere to just land. I just need somewhere to just stand on my feet and just be still. That lasted for 5 years. I stood still for 5 years. It took me 5 years to unwind my mental mind from the previous 25 years of freaking going for it. Money was my definition of success, life, joy, and happiness was directly related to my bank account and my job titles and the board of directors of whatever I was on, or whatever volunteer organization I was a part of. Like, all of that dictated my love, joy, and happiness in the world.
Damn. I get
so
this.
needless to say, I didn't
feel
get
this.
any, right?
I feel this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was that. Anyway, I ended up at the ranch, and I tell my wife when we get there, I was like, baby, I had more money when I was 17 years old and I married you. At 17, I had a better financial portfolio than I do right now at 40.
Yeah.
I'm now 40 years old, completely starting below zero.
Wow.
And that's where the horses came in.
Thank gosh for the horses, right? Thank gosh.
So I went to, Cammie, my wife, took me to one of her woo things because it was her world. Yeah, one of those. And I was like, no.
Did you say woo?
I said, yeah, that's what I called her. I was like, your woo friends. And she's like, I want you to come to Salt Lake to this meditation with me with these people. And I'm like, your weirdo friends? You want me to go up there with your freaking woo friends? For how long? And she's like, it's like all day. I was like, all day? Anyway, I'm a zero, so I'm already like lost and kind of spun out. So I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, all right, let's go to this thing. And we go in there and sit down. And so anyway, I'm getting to the point here that in that meditation, when we first got started, and just sitting there, this guy's talking and he's doing all the things like, I want you to think of your happy place, and you have quiet music playing, and he's talking me through how powerful it is to have these internal thoughts that you can create your future. And I'm sitting there in my chair going, bro, I got so much shit to do right now. I cannot sit here another freaking 20 minutes and listen to you.
This is my husband.
Right?
You're going like this. And I'm going to tell you, Wes, that I was here at the beginning, too, going,
why am I wasting my time with this whole meditation thing? Like, I don't even understand the purpose of this. And you're right
pretty
there.
Pretty much. So anyway, my wife, I'm trying to be a good husband. I'm like, all right, I'll just sit here longer. Like, she told me this doesn't end, so I'll sit here. I finally got quiet enough. Like, I finally just was like, all right, let me just be here. And I got kind of quiet, and I just was sitting there, and I was like, okay, what is this, And it got quiet, and I don't necessarily hear things or voices or anything, but I just had a knowing. This phrase came to me, okay? This phrase came to me. I'm sitting in this room with 300 people. It's quiet, and I finally calmed down enough, and this phrase comes to me that says, West, if you will follow the Mustangs, they have a journey for you.
My God.
And so I'm like...
Mic drop.
I'm like sitting there, I'm like, first of all, my first kind of question is like, well, what the hell's a Mustang?
Yeah, like the
I
car?
don't even know for sure what that, yeah, I'm like, what are we talking about exactly?
Follow the Mustang.
Right? But I was like, all right, that's the wild horses. This is about how much I knew about horses. Even still, I was like, okay, if I follow the Mustangs, they have a journey for me. And I'm kind of just sketching this out, and I'm writing down on a piece of paper, and then another phrase comes to me that says, if you follow the Mustangs, in return, they will show you an honorable transition for this wild horse to live with man, to be with man. An honorable transition. So there's some key words in here for me that stuck. Honorable transition, and then follow the Mustang.
Yeah.
So I wasn't to take the Mustang and go do something, to take this horse and go show the world or go make all eyes on the Mustang. I was to follow the Mustang. So that was I was like, I don't know what that means exactly. I wrote it all down. Anyway, that was the beginning of me getting into the horse business, in the horse world, that I come home from that meditation, that clarity, that just landed in me. And I was like, if I don't do something with this, I might be missing out on something. Like this woo feels like it means something. Like this, it landed. Something meant something.
Yeah. So you dipped your toe in woo. And
it gets all over you.
I mean, yeah, it kind of does. I'm just going to give you a fair warning. Because it really does help. It starts to make sense on a level that you can't process up here. It's just that knowing. You said it's a knowing.
I was at a space. I was so burnt out on trying to think what I knew.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I was trying to do all the traditional things of
Exhausting.
work hard and be dedicated and be focused and be resilient and do all those things, and all great values, absolutely. But I was just trying so hard, and none of it was coming at a peaceful or a healthy space for me. It was always running and gunning and doing and being.
Yeah.
So this landed, and I was like, I am so burned out. I'm so sick of my old way of being. Like, I'm just so tired of my old life, and it's gone, right? It went away. I'm standing here lost, unidentified to anything. I don't want to go back into my business. I'm like, hell no. I want nothing to do with business. So I'm standing there, I was like, well, let's figure out what the hell these Mustangs are.
I love this. I love this story because I hear this over and over in various forms, that your life gets to a crossroads. It could be health, it could be business, finances, financial ruin, whatever it is. But it's like, I cannot keep doing this anymore. I can't be living my life, and every single system that I've been taught thus far is not working.
Right.
So it's time to dip my toe into something different. And so yours happen to be follow the Mustangs.
Yeah.
And you get to transfer this incredible journey and this knowledge and this awareness that you have learned about horses, and we'll get to that in a minute, to beautiful Kim and her life matters and the things that she does. And I look at Kim, I've known her for several years, and she's always upbeat. She's always smiling. She's very positive, and she wears all the hats. She's got the mom hat. She's got the business hat. She's got the school hat. She's got the spouse hat. She's got, her ecclesiastical position, if you have one. You have all the hats, which many women do. Mm-hmm. And yet there's this piece that is going, I know that there is this stumbling block, right? Like I can see it and I can feel it, but I don't know where it's at. And we talked about this before, you decided that this would be a really viable option for you. So first of all, tell me about your life, and then tell me about the area that you want to focus on today. Because we can go anywhere you want with this beautiful awareness that horses are going to allow to have you in your life. Life lessons from horses. That's what we are going to be understanding directly from the horse. Right from the horse's mouth. So, anyway, let's talk.
Okay. Well, I first want to say I love what you said. Like Mindy and I were laughing when you said the word cleansing, but I really do think that's what it was for you. And cleansing necessarily isn't a bad thing. It's actually a really positive thing, and we all need to cleanse.
Yeah. What about, it could even be purification.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Purifying something that was tainted with the way that we saw life up until now.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, we're all, I think, even me, I'm scared to not do the things that I know or I've been taught, and because that's what I've been taught. But if we cleanse, then I don't know. I really love that you said that.
Okay.
Okay. About me, Wendy. I mean, you said it. I wear a ton of hats, and I love all my different hats. Mm-hmm. I love them. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I get overwhelmed. And I don't love admitting that because I appreciate what you said about me. I'm probably gonna get emotional. I don't know why my heart is like beating.
And what's so beautiful about this platform, we get to be very human on this show.
Yeah.
And so when emotions come up, you have all this container of safety, and it says, Kim, you be Kim. And if that's big emotion, we've got your back.
Oh, I've got big emotion.
Yeah.
But so yes, I wear all these hats and I love it. I love being a mom. I love being a wife. I love working in my kids' school. I love working with the youth at my church. They're my absolute favorite. I love helping families in real estate. I love helping elderly with their Medicare insurance. And I am positive most of the time and happy.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the hardest things for me, I would say, as a human, is everyone expects me to be happy all the time.
Oh.
And so when I'm not, like, I feel a lot of pressure for myself mostly, like, to be happy in all those hats. And sometimes the hats are heavy and I don't know which ones to let go, or who I'm going to disappoint if the hat falls out. You know, I'm just using that as like an example. Yeah. Let's see. What else do you want to know?
I thank you so much for being so vulnerable and honest and transparent, because how many of us were taught that the only appropriate emotion within the walls of our home when we were growing up was happy. If you weren't happy, you got sent to your room. If you weren't happy, you were somehow disciplined, right? Or in some of our cases, we're taught, well, you're not doing this enough, that's why you're not happy. Well, you're not doing this enough, so you're not happy.
Mm-hmm.
You're not following the program quite right, because otherwise you would always be happy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that is a lie that society and a lot of families embrace. And it makes us disconnected from the emotional intelligence of who we are. Because we are sad, and we are lonely, and we have grief, and we have anger. Anger is a great motivator to get stuff done, right? And we forget that we are all of that. And then we don't feel so much pressure to always be like this. I'm happy. I'm always happy. See, I'm so happy. And it allows us to be real. And when we're real, we start to relax. We start to be okay. We start to feel safe. Because when you were telling me all your roles, I know you love them. But I'm going to tell you, I was exhausted listening to it. Quite honestly, I was. And I don't know if you ever feel exhausted. Do you ever feel exhausted?
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what I was saying. Like, I also love it, you know? And it's like, my husband, they've asked me twice now to be the PTA president at my kid's school. I called my husband, and the lady who called and asked me, again, like you said, all these things that were just, they're all the things I hope people see in me, right? And she listed all these reasons that I should be a PTA president. And I just said, I am so flattered, but I do have to talk to my husband, because I have gotten better at not saying yes right away.
What is the word? Can you say it?
No.
What? Can you say it again?
It's a complete sentence. No. And so I was like, okay, I love everything you said about me, but I have to call my husband. And I do a lot without talking to my husband first, not because I don't respect him, just because I'm pretty independent. And so, you know, but this is a big thing. And so I called my husband and I said, honey, you will never believe. They just called me. She said the nicest things to me. They want me to be PTA president. He was like, absolutely not. You call them back right now. Absolutely not. And I was like, but? He's like, there's no but. Like, you're not doing this. And I'm like, I know, you're right. Like, I can't, you know. And so that was 2 years ago. And then they called me again this year. And she's like, I don't know if anything's changed. And I'm like, well, it hasn't. You know.
Congratulations.
I know. I'm learning to say
I am
no.
so applauding you right now.
It's hard. It's a hard word. It's a hard word. I think one of my biggest pressures that I put on myself is that because everyone thinks that I am so happy and so positive all the time, which I am, you know. However,
Okay.
because I'm that way, and that's what people see all the time, they're like, go out and do this. Of course you're going to be successful if you do this. Of course you're going to just go smile in front of them and be yourself, and you're going to get all the business. And I'm like, that adds so much pressure to me. And I don't think people aren't meaning to put pressure on me. They don't know that's doing it, but it is putting so much pressure on me that I literally freeze. And I'm not as successful as I'd like to be bank account wise. I'm successful in a lot of things, you know. And so that's really hard for me. It's really hard. And I don't want to tell people, like, stop telling me that I'm going to be great at this, you know, because I feel like I'm going to let everybody down.
Oh, she just dropped it, didn't she? I'm gonna let people down. Yeah, I'm gonna let people down, and I'm gonna keep going through this dialogue if you're still going, and then it's time for Wes to come and share his incredible wisdom. But right, if there's more, I can hear it, I can feel it.
You know, that's it. Like, I think I do have so much to offer people, but there's just this pressure that, well, I mean, really, that I put on myself, because it's no one's fault. That, I mean, it's so nice when people think I'm so great. You know, I am great. I'm great. Mm-hmm. But the fact that everyone thinks that I'm going to be just like so successful because I am friendly, it just makes me freeze. I'm just so dumb.
None of this is dumb. None of this is dumb. It's not dumb. And I think that this is so beautiful, because how many people feel this same way? How many people think that the only permission they have is to be this glowing light in the world, and that they can't really just be them, and there's so much pressure, and so they freeze. Like, you are saying the same story as hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people. And so you're brave enough to say it. You're brave enough to look at it. And when we bring out something dark into the light, it disbands it, right? It allows us to see, because we become aware. And when awareness is the antidote to suffering, in my opinion. Because once we see, we can do something about it, right? But until we keep pretending that we're happy. So I'm so grateful you're here, and I'm so grateful for Wes, because I'm going to tell you, this man has wisdom. This man has depth. This man is going to be able to help you see what you're ready to see, because you just said you're ready to see it.
Gosh. I'm liking it. Well, you know what I'm like? I'm just sitting here thinking, the horse, we'll go see this, but the horse has three options when they're overpressured and stressed and tolerant. You know what those three options are? These are Mother Nature's answers.
What are they?
These are Mother Nature's answers. The first one, well, they're not in any order, but fight, right? So if the horse is overpressured, overstimulated, and stuck in a spot and there's no way out, there's one option of fight. The other option is to flee, right? Like, hey, here's all this pressure, this is going on, this is too much, I can't process, I don't know. I am just going to freaking leave. And the third one is freeze.
I think I knew all of them.
We all do. We all do. It's a natural part of our autonomic system to protect ourselves from overpressure, from too much. But we, being such good humans as we are, we'll just push through it. I'll be fine. Yeah, I'll take on some more. It's okay. I can do this, right? And we push through, and we build more and more of this tolerance in our system. And this is building and building and building and building on the inside. And it builds on the inside of the horse. So we'll be able to go see this, and what would be the cool part is we'll be able to go and watch this horse, right? This animal that we can't speak to, right? We can't tell it, okay, now, you know, I want you to do this thing, horse, or I want you to do this for Kim. I want you to show
have to
up.
come cuddle me, horse.
Yeah, you have to love. Right? This horse is just going to display its autonomic system. It's just going to display what it feels like in this exact right now moment. Because horses are just right now. They're not in the future. You know, they're not expecting, all right, you know, I got this thing happening at 6 o'clock tonight, right? And they're not in the past, regretful of what happened yesterday or the weeks before. They're just right now, and they have just one question that is internally being asked all the time from the inside of the horse. the autonomic system, that the soul, or just the core of the horse, the Mother Nature side of the horse is asking one question: am I safe? And if that answer comes back to the horse, a neurochemical based on the environment and the pressure, if that comes back as a no, then we tolerate, we upregulate, we'll stack some more, we'll build another wall, we'll create more resistance, we'll protect ourselves even more and build all this up. So we've got such a fortress built up around the horse or around ourselves, or we're always leaving, or we're always fighting, right? It's all of those things is how Mother Nature will have us try to relieve this, and if we don't, then our internal system, it starts to break down. And the horse will start to break down, and then something's going to happen. That horse is going to blow up at some point. Something's going to happen someday, somewhere, sometime, and that horse is just like, I can't internally hold on to any more of this.
I'm a horse.
And then, there we go. All right, we got the hard part out of the way. We got she's already made the loop. Here we go. Let's go. Right now, we're ready to go.
I'm thinking about this, and my heart is saying, Kim, if you can learn this now at your age, you don't have to go through the decade of autoimmune stuff.
Oh.
You don't have to go through the decade of the things that I have encountered because I was just like you probably a decade ago. And I wouldn't listen that my tolerance was maxed out. I couldn't do it anymore. And so my body shut down for me.
It has to.
Yeah.
It has to just self-preserve.
Mm-hmm.
And my body did the same thing because I've gone through the same cycle. And when we don't manage our autonomic system, we don't find this self-regulation, our body, when we build all of that and our internal system starts seeing what's going on, it's like, oh, this is going to end badly. Like we're going off a cliff.
Yeah.
So our body, our internal system will start to shut us down. So that means it starts breaking things. Things stop working. Our stomach stops working. Our natural ability to heal and rest stops working, right? We're shutting down. Everything just starts breaking down because the system's trying to get us to take a break, trying to get us to just relax. So when I overdo it, when my body's telling me to relax, I end up getting hurt physically, right? So that's just my marker point. I'm getting really good at reading this now. I haven't been hurt in a while, but before a while I got hurt a lot. But that was my body's way of saying, hey, if you don't slow down, if you don't take care of this, we will. And so I got to, with working with the horses, I had a lot of injuries, I had a lot of painful experiences. My body trying to get me to slow down, but I was still going too hard even then, trying to figure things out. So,
How are you processing this?
Well, I love knowing that, like, I'm not the only one in this boat, although it feels like it. You know what I mean? Like, I do feel like, but no, I'm not, and yeah, I definitely flight or fight mode. And there's definitely things that my body has gone through that I've put it through because of just life throwing curveballs. And I do want to add, like, I have a beautiful life. Like, I really do. It's just life. Life happens. Things happen that are beyond our control, or people don't respond the way, we want them to, or I don't respond the way people want me to, and then just curveball after curveball. And we're not really taught there's going to be these curveballs, I don't think, especially growing up in the religious culture that I did grow up in, that I still am very much a part of and love. However, we're not really taught that, like, there's going to be so many curveballs and you're just going to have to, we're kind of just taught, like, I'm just going to say it, like, do it. Go to the temple and pray about it. Read your scriptures a little bit more. And guess what? I'm horrible at that too.
Well, and one of the things that I would love to just set free, all of us, that cycle of doing will continue us in this loop that we're talking about, that we have to do something to get something, right? What if we didn't have to? What if we could just be? And what if we could get that relaxation and that exhalation by learning to be just like the horse sits? And maybe in that state, we can start to relax. Maybe we can start letting go. So it's not necessarily that we have to go to the temple more or read the scriptures more. And then we feel guilty because we're not doing it, right?
And I think it's a beautiful thing to learn that we are okay. Yeah. Innately and whole without doing anything.
That's, and with the horses, I call that internal safety. When I'm working with the horses, all I'm trying to do is build internal safety. I want getting them to feel safe on the inside. And that takes a very slow, quiet, we got to bring things down to create that safety. But when we have safety on the inside, we can then take it with us. But if our safety is contingent on the outside, everything around us, well, now we're showing up in that environment with the answer to the question, am I safe? You're walking in with a no, because you didn't bring safety with you. It wasn't in here. So you come into this new environment, whatever it is, the new job, the new, PTA, president, whatever the thing.
I said no.
Right? But if we go in there without that safety, without that internal safety, then we go in there now, all of the curveballs start landing, the fiery darts, all the things are coming at us because we didn't come in with safety to start with. So all of that stuff shows up because we see what we're looking for. We see what we're influenced by. So if I walk in cautious, I see things to be cautious about. Internally, from just a autonomic system. I'm not walking in the room in here going, all right, what am I cautious about? But if I walk in here and I'm like kind of anxious, nervous, like, wow, those are big microphones. Oh, gosh, there's cameras over there. There's a sound guy. There's another person. There's like 2 sound people in here. My gosh, geez, and I'm feeling sweat. God, right? Because I will find all these things to upregulate because that's what I brought through the door. So with the horses, they end up with the same type of a thing going on. We'll go see this, that when horses have problems with people, the people send the horses to a trainer, which is like, go to the temple. Oh, the horse having problems? Go read more scriptures. Be a better, whatever. Take the horse to another trainer to be trained how to do the thing. Well, when I start working with a horse, like, the best horses that I find to work with are the ones that are safe on the inside, and then you can take them in any environment and then ask of the things to do, and they can do it because they were safe to start with. They're not on edge and like looking around for the trouble. So getting this internal safety, and this is a scientific principle. This is science talking, not just me and horses, but this internal safety is the key factor for the beginning of transformation or the beginning of making changes in any behaviors, whether it's horses or humans. That when we have internal safety, we're seeking or working towards internal safety, that's when progress happens. We can go around the edge and do all the shiny things, right? We can go to this seminar and that seminar and read this book and listen to that podcast and go listen to this guy and that guy, whatever. But until we're doing it and bringing it internal, we can't take it with us.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And so, it's really interesting because when we had our first discussion, Kim, you talked about, I would like to make more money and things like that. I'm curious, in your perspective now, do you think it's about the money?
No.
Can you?
I mean, money is nice. Like, I do want to make money. I think we always want to make a little more money, right? Like, because I love to do the things, especially with my family right now growing up. But no, there's definitely blocks inside of me. And I do know that. You know what I mean? Like, money does not bring happiness, as we know. Like, I have plenty of friends who have all the things, all the big houses, all the toys, and, they have just as many problems, if not more than I do. Yeah. Like, money does not create happiness.
Yes.
It helps.
Yeah, no, I'll take it all day long. What I heard from Wes, too, was our internal world creates our external world, right? That is what I heard. And perhaps it goes hand in hand, sister. You create safety internally for you to receive support, receive understanding that you are a human being with lots of emotions and every emotion's okay. That you are someone who can receive money, receive pleasure, right? And that you're not just this one woman show that has to be happy all the time for everybody. A lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility, a lot of weight on your shoulders. Because if you're not happy, what happens? But then I also feel as mothers, we're the greatest
our teaching is greatest done by our example.
Yep.
So how do we teach our kids how to be happy if we don't know how to be happy? Then they're just repeating the same dang pattern that we showed them, right? So what's so beautiful about this work is I love seeing people transform their lives so that they feel internal safety. So now your kids know how to do it also. They can find internal safety. Now we all win. Now we all win. Because now we can go into this ring and be able to do really cool things because we feel safe.
Yeah. And wouldn't it be cool if the start of that creation of that eternal safety is so simple and so easy to do that the horse can show us, like Mother Nature can show us through the horse, the exact step-by-step procedures to gain internal safety and to let go of stress and anxiety. Right? If the horse could show this, right? Well, I'll ask you. If the horse could show that, would that feel true to you coming from an animal versus true to you coming from maybe a human or reading a book or watching something? Which would feel more true?
Well, I do think that humans, we overcomplicate every part of our life.
That's part of our existence. That's just, yeah.
I mean, really. And you do watch, I love animals. I wouldn't say like I'm this animal lover, but you do look at them. Like, I was just in Mexico and I was like, I think I'm coming back as a whale on my in my next life. They're in the ocean, they're in the sun, they're swimming around, they're happy, they're singing. Like, it's a simple life. And we are I am overcomplicating a lot. So I want to say, I'm going to go with the animal. I'm going to trust it.
I like that too.
I like that answer too.
I found in my work in 15 years, kind of working with these horses and trying to figure out how things really work in there and get that going. Having the horse's ability to allow us to engage at this space. So I work with wild horses, the ones that live, wild out in the desert, like deer and elk, right? And they're out there living their best life being a wild horse. And then that horse comes to me into my space to be gentle, trained to be able to live with people, right? Remember, that was part of that meditation process, that if I would follow the Mustangs, they would show me this honorable transition, which absolutely has happened. In the 15 years of doing this, I have figured out a very scientific flow for this to work with the horses. But in doing that, some of the most magnificent work that I found for myself was like, I'm working with these horses that are just wild, fight, free the creatures. That's their answer to everything. And we go through this process, and they're making this massive transformation, right? That this wild animal that once is just like, man, I'm going to leave at a split second. Like, that's my answer to everything. Can calm down, can be quiet, can be gentle, to where we could walk that horse in here in the studio and walk it, bring it in here and be like, all right, stand right there. And the horse will be like, okay. As I look at that, I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
How is that possible that wild animal can have that transformation? And with me working doing this, transformation can happen, in a number of days that can happen. And so I started seeing that, and I started asking myself, well, if that's possible in the horse, what's possible in me? If that horse can do this, what the hell is my problem? What?
Yeah.
Why can't I make transformation like that in my life?
Yeah.
And what I've learned, I took that on. Like, when I get into things and I like things, I go down the rabbit hole. Like, I get all in. I want to tell you guys, from figuring that out and watching that with the horses, it took me another 5 years to kind of figure out the flow and the feel of that. But 100%, you only are who you are today by the stories you tell yourself of who and what you are. And if you want to be something different, it's so changeable. You can be night and day different from what you are right now in a matter of days.
I love that.
In a matter of days.
Empowering.
Now, the more the pressure and the more willing you are to do that work is the leverage of how big that transition happens. If you want to just sit and whittle at it with sandpaper, well, there you go. You'll get some dust and that'll be down there. But if you want to grab a freaking chainsaw and cut this shit down,
Oh,
you can do that too.
love, that's what my husband's always like, I'm not letting you cut down any bushes because you just go to town and then the bushes are there. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't I do that?
Edward Scissorhands.
I am. I said that to my son the other day. I'm like Edward Scissorhands. He's like, Mom, but Edward Scissorhands creates beautiful bushes. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey, but we're still learning. And we love ourselves.
We're still learning.
So
let's just finalize this discussion with one last point, and that is, West, to promote this safe container, let's talk to Kim about what she can expect when we're out with the horses, that we're in the pen. Like what can she expect that she is going to be witnessing, hearing? Like, just give a brief gloss overview.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
First off, we're not riding. So you're not getting on a horse.
That's fine, 'cause
we're
I'm
not,
gonna drive.
We're not riding. We're not riding. But what,
You could have done side saddle.
Yeah.
what we will be doing is I'll go through and be discussing kind of the scientific terms of what's going on internally with the horse. You know, just their fight, flight, their cortisol and adrenaline and dopamine and serotonin, these neurochemicals that drive the horse. They also drive our autonomic system.
Mm-hmm.
So as we can watch and see this in the horse, when we can see the cortisol and the adrenaline, right, the fear and the anxiety, we can see that in real time. That's a neurochemical experience. So we're going to go have some neurochemical experiences with this horse. And we're going to start with just some observation. Let's see the stress and worry. Let's see the anxiety. Let's see the flight mode. Let's see this horse answer the questions by Mother Nature, right? If it's something there you're not sure about it, just leave. You know, let's go see that happen a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see how the autonomic system will reward and support the horse for leaving the scary thing. Right? Because the horses that stayed and kept looking at the scary thing right out in the wild, well, they were what was for dinner last night.
Mm-hmm.
They're no longer here because they stuck around too long. So the other horses that stayed alive, they're the ones that left in a split second. Like, I don't know, that leaf moved, I'm out of here. Like, I'm not staying here. So we'll see how this works so that we can have this comparison of your internal system is happening and working at the same way at a subconscious level and at some conscious level. Like we'll talk through that. And then we'll kind of set this up. So you'll be in the round pen with me, and we're just going to be standing, watching, talking, and just kind of observing. And then at some point, once we kind of get some connection, we start getting this horse working with us, that this horse wants to engage, and we start getting some communication, start building this internal safety through our communication, we'll start asking this horse to engage with that scary thing. And this is where it gets really cool, is as we watch the horse go through this transformation, because we'll see it say, no, I don't want to, I'm leaving. And how do we get it to say I want to? When we start seeing that and we get this horse wanting to do the thing, that's where we want to take that into our life. Like, ooh, how do I get me to want to do that scary thing? Mm-hmm. How do I get me to want, how do I get this internal safety, and how do I go forward into the thing I'm scared about or nervous about or anxious about? How do I do that and bring safety? Because we're going to go watch the horse do exactly that.
I'm excited.
So no more freeze mode. Money, showering on Kim. Mm-hmm.
I feel like, Wendy, we really should give our perspectives of what, or share what we thought the experience was going to be. You know, because it's just so funny.
Tell us what my nervous system is versus your
well,
nervous system.
mine's whack. You know, I still want everything pretty roses. You know, but go ahead.
Okay,
you start.
So what I see, and every episode we're going to kind of visualize what people in general think this experience is going to be. You know, what is equine therapy? What is life's lessons from horses? And because we hyper-sensationalize and we are so melodramatic in our imagination, especially this girl. And so I just, in my mind, I picture myself, I did not know I would not be on a horse, right? So it was, I'm on a horse and that horse takes off and it's not stopping. And it is this, I am on this train that is not going to be stopped and it's not going to end well until we maybe hit the cliff and I go over, right?
That sounds like your real estate career you described earlier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I did go off the cliff, but then I flew. So that was really, really fabulous. Thank you, my last client, which was the client from HE Double Toothpicks, okay? So what was yours?
So when Wendy called me and asked me what I thought this experience would be, I was like, well, honestly, I pictured like you walking this horse up to me and we have this energy transfer. Like this horse gives me what I need and because it fills what I am missing is really what I thought. And that really does still sound beautiful to me, so maybe it will happen. But
and I will hug him, and I will love him,
we'll
and I will
snuggle,
kiss him.
But anyways, so now that we know what's really going to happen, I'm
saying
excited.
I'm not saying that won't happen.
It's like this girl needs extra love.
I did hear a rumor that horses have 5 times the electromagnetic energy field as humans. Is that true? I've heard it.
I don't know how big, but it's a thing.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because
Your horse-
I've always heard that. They feel your energy. They know when you're scared.
They want to connect with what you are at your core. Now we can put a lot of our human words on that of what we think our core is, but the horse has but one question. What was it?
Are you safe?
Yeah, am I safe? So as the horse is engaging with you and it's reading, it's trying to find safety.
Oh.
If it can't find safety in here to connect with, then it will disconnect.
So then it'll run until I hit a cliff.
I'm really wondering how many horses it's going to take.
It'll be fun.
I'm
gosh.
so excited.
Yep.
This is going to be such an incredible experience. So let's go.
Here,
Let's go have it.
before we leave, I'll have one question I'll throw out to you, and then we'll talk later, right?
Okay.
We'll talk later.
Am I answering this now? or am
Nope.
I
I just want to
okay.
present the question, and then just take this question with you.
Okay.
So I just want you to take the question of, what does the horse have to teach you about you? Just let that sit. And we'll go have our experience, and then we can come back and bring that question up
Yes.
and find out what did you feel like the horse had to teach you about you.
Okay.
This is going to be so amazing.
I'm
I'm
excited.
ready.
Cool.
And I've got my cowboy hat.
And
to
I'm
prove
going
it.
to get mine.
Yes.
Let's go do it. I always have mine.
Yes, you do.
Just saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cowboy, take me away.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
And you might sing it.
I'm not singing it. You sing it.
No, I don't even remember the
But
tune.
I'm
I
going to
can
listen
hear
to
it
it
in my
at
head.
your house.
Yeah. All right. Play it on the way over there.
Okay.
Okay.